Hello there and welcome to Cook's Corner video. Today we are taking a look at one of the simplest yet most classic recipes in barbecue cooking. Of course, I'm talking about barbecue pulled pork. Now this is a personal favorite recipe of mine because even if you don't have the proper equipment, the smoker or the outside grill to slow and low cook your pork, it doesn't really matter because you can substitute with your ingredients and you can substitute and get the same effect as you would in a crock pot. Just don't go tell any competitive barbecuing teams, to them that would be blasphemy. But the product will be delicious, I assure you that. Now for this recipe, all you need is a 1.5 to 2 pound center cut pork loin, a cup and a half of your favorite barbecue sauce, a couple tablespoons of liquid smoke, salt and pepper, and your favorite barbecue dry rub. I use a roasted pepper and garlic seasoning in mine. And that's all really the ingredients you need, plus a crock pot and some patience. So what I do next is I liberally season my pork roast on all sides with the salt and pepper and my barbecue dry rub. Rub it in with your hands, get it nicely coated all over, sit it on a plate, wrap it in saran wrap, and let that just sit for a couple of hours minimum to overnight is best. And when you are ready to start the cooking process, pull the marinating roast out of the fridge and allow it to come to room temperature for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. After you've done that, heat a frying pan over medium-high heat with just a touch of oil in the pan. Spread the pan so that the oil spreads evenly, and when the pan is very hot and near the smoking point, sear the meat on all 4 sides, the top, the bottom, and the 2 end pieces, to get a nice caramel and textural crust on the roast. This will help to seal in the juices and give you a nice texture contrast. Even though it's cooking in the crock pot, it still adds that extra layer of deliciousness. So now you want to remove the seared roast and put it in your crock pot. Next, strain off the fat and excess oil, if there is any, from your frying pan and return it to a medium heat. Using 1/4 cup of your barbecue sauce, deglaze the pan with a wooden spoon to bring up the caramelized bits that may have stuck to the bottom of the pan. That is all pure flavor down there, and you don't want to lose a drop of it. If you need to, add a little water to thin it out a bit. Be careful it doesn't burn. Pour that into your barbecue sauce and pour the entire barbecue sauce over your pork roast in the slow cooker. Now everybody's crock pot cooks a little bit different. Mine took about 7.5 hours. I did it 1 hour on high and then the rest on low, turning the roast over in its sauce once every hour. You will know the roast is finished when a slight pressure placed on it will start to break the roast apart. At this point you want to take the cooked pork out of your crock pot and let it rest in a bowl. When the roast is cool enough to handle, I use the 2-fork method, and I just take 2 regular forks and start to pull the roast apart. You should have nice, evenly cooked, still moist strips of pork, and even though it cooked in a crock pot, you will still notice that the searing will give you a bit of caramelization, and you will have some textural bits of roast pork to mix in with your sandwiches or however you choose to serve the pulled pork. With your leftover sauce that is in the crock pot, what I do is I allow it to cool the fat rises to the top, and then I can easily remove the excess unwanted fat, strain it, and I have a delicious barbecue sauce to top my pulled pork whenever I need to. Now, I usually just make sandwiches, because once I have one, I have about 4, and then there's not much left to do with the rest of it. But you can usually serve it as a main course, serve it over rice, put it on a sandwich, put it in an omelet, put it on a pizza. There are numerous applications that you can use your newly found barbecue pulled pork. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I'd like to hear your comments. You can email your feedback at peter@potluckcooksclub.com. Until next time, folks, keep playing with your food.